Hey there everyone from the Let's Academy, Jared Couture here, and in this guitar lesson video, we're going to be talking about the function of chords within a key. So how do you know which chords to choose to create a cool chord progression, right? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about, with a little bit of help with music theory, alright? So I do recommend checking out the series that I've created with Let's on the circle of fifths, and also the video on common chord progressions. These two things are also can be integrated into this information. They will help you a lot. Just a recommendation. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you have your guitar, you're in tune, and you're ready. All right? So let's begin. First, we're going to preface with the musical alphabet and what chords belong in a major key. Okay? So as you probably know, the musical alphabet consists of 7 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, those are our 7 letters. Now that means in any major key, there's also 7 letters. We use all those letters. And that means that each key contains 7 chords, okay? Now in the key of C major, which is the key we're going to use today for the major key, we have our 7 chords, and let's go ahead and refresh your memory with that if you don't already know. So the 7 chords, we're going to start on the note C and then end on the note C. All right, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And that's how we do it. And then we put numbers to those letters in the exact same order. So C is 1, D is 2, and so on. Okay? So in the key of C major, the first chord, or the 1 chord, is C major. The 2 chord, the second chord, is D minor. The 3 chord is E minor. The 4 chord is F major. The 5 chord is G major. The 6 chord is A minor. And the 7 chord is B diminished. You may not know this chord voicing, so I'll help you out real quick. For the diminished chord voicing, I'm going to put the first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Second finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the D string. Pinky is going to go on the 4th fret of the G string. And the 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. So we play these 4 notes. It's B diminished. Alright? And we've played all of our chords now. That's the 7th chord, and we go back home to C. So there you have it. A quick refresher, what are the chords in the key of C. And now I'm going to show you how you can mix these up and make cool chord progressions with those 7 chords using the key of C major, alright? So let me go ahead and pull this graph up on the screen. This is going to help you out, alright? We're going to be talking about the function of the chords in a key, and we're going to use Roman numerals to do it, specifying the numbers, okay? Now if you look at the image on the screen, you'll notice some squares on the right side, right underneath the words major key. And it says tonic, subdominant, and dominant. All right, now let's just go ahead and look at which chords fit into these 3 basic categories. Now these 3 basic categories are explaining the function of the chords in a key. Okay, we'll touch on that in a second. So if you notice, the 1 chord, the 3 chord, and the 6 chord are all a part of the tonic. All right, these can all fit into that same category. Okay, now if you notice for subdominant, the 2 chord and the 4 chord fit into the category of subdominant. And as for the dominant category, the 7 chord and the 5 chord fit into that category. So tonic again, 1 chord is C major, 3 chord is E minor, 6 chord is A minor, subdominant 2 is D minor, and 4 is F major, right? And for dominant we have the G chord is the 5, and B diminished is 7. Alright, so that's all the stuff. Now, here's what you need to know about music in general. In music, we're always setting it up with tension and release. There's always tension and release in music. So here's what you need to know. The tonic is the least tense chord or category. They're going to have the least amount of tension. They're the most stable sound. Now the subdominant has more tension and the dominant has the most tension. So when you're creating chords, one thing you can do, you can use this graph and you can basically just play tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic. So it's like you have stability, tension, more tension, and release. Stability again. Okay, so that's kind of how this whole thing works, and you can experiment with a bunch of stuff. Let's go ahead and try exactly what is on the screen though. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the 3 chord first. Play it with me. E minor, and then next we go to the 6th chord to A minor, and let's go to the numbers only on the top for the moment. So for subdominant, we're going to go to the 4 chord F major. Then we're going to go to the 7 chord for the dominant, which is B diminished, and then back home to 1, C major. So if I play that, let's hear it in context. So here's 3, 6, 4, 7, and 1. And you can really hear that tension and release between 7 and 1. Listen. It's very dissonant, a lot of tension, right? And then, release. Now let's try it exactly the same, but only using the chords on the bottom for subdominant and dominant now. So 2 and 5. All right, let's try that out. Here we go. E minor. A minor. For the 6. Now we hit our 2 chord. 5 chord. G major. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Another way you could put 2 and 5 faster. Let's do it again. Let me give you another idea. So watch this. 3, 6, and I'm going to go twice as fast for 2 and 5, right? So 2, 5, and then 1. All right? So there's some ideas you can use. You can use this graph to create some cool stuff. But remember, what you can do mostly is just set yourself up for tension, tension, release. Music is all about tension and release. So there's other ideas. So you could do a song that's just 2-5-1, subdominant, dominant, tonic, right? Or you could use this 4-7-1. However, in a major key, I'll just let you know, using the 7, that B diminished, is the least common way to resolve to 1. It's not always the most common way to do it, but of course you can do it, and it does sound great, all right? So just know there's always tension and release in music, and we use subdominant, dominant, tonic. So what I would like you to do is take this graph and experiment with different things. You could just do maybe 3-2-7-1, or only 6-2-5-1, right? Different ways where you're mixing subdominant, dominant, and tonic, or tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic. Okay? So that is your homework, to experiment with all the possibilities on this chart. It doesn't have to go in perfect order, but we're going to use tonic, subdominant, dominant, and tonic. All right? So go ahead and do your experimenting. Now, to continue the idea though, we also have to touch on minor keys. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the exact same thing, but within a minor key. All right, now we're going to use the key of A minor, and if you watch that Circle of Fifths series, you definitely know that C major and A minor are relative keys. So actually, C major and A minor, these are 2 different keys with 2 different sounds. However, they share the exact same chords, exactly the same, okay? Exactly the same. The only difference is we start on the note A and we end on the note A. So let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and A minor. Here we go. So A minor is our 1, B diminished is our 2, C major is our 3, D minor is 4, E minor is 5, F major is 6, G major is 7, D minor is 1, right? right? We're back home. So that was just A to A using the same chords as we did in C. Now there is an exception though in minor keys, all right? So I have to tell you about that. So the 5 chord and the 7 chord, you're gonna have to remember this, all right? There is an exception to this rule. So in minor, we actually borrow from the harmonic minor scale when we create chords, all right? If you want to learn more about that, there's 3 types of minor scales: natural minor, harmonic minor, and melodic minor, okay? And these can change some of the chords a bit. Now, you can research that outside of here, or you can take lessons with us privately. We'll help you understand more. However, the exception is this: the 5 chord and the 7 chord can change. So the 5 chord was E minor, right? The 7 chord was G major. Now, in any minor key, instead of playing the 5 chord as minor, you could also play it as major, and it will create even more tension. Typically, the job of the 5 as the dominant, right, it takes us to our 1, to our tonic. Dominant tonic, 5 goes to 1. To make it stronger in minor, we make it a major chord. So actually we play E major. So anytime we play 5 in this lesson, instead of playing E minor, we're actually going to play E major, okay? So in a minor key, this happens. Now, also the 7 chord. 7 was G major, right? There's an exception here too. And what we do is we go 1/2 step higher and we make it a diminished chord. So actually now we'll have 2 diminished chords. Now if you look at the screen, you'll notice there's actually 2 different types of sevens. On the very left, right, we have 7, and it is showing up as tonic. Now on the very right, in red, showing up in dominant, you see it with a little circle. The little circle indicates diminished. So in that case, we would not play G major, we go up 1/2 step, and we're going to play G sharp diminished. All right? So 7 could be either G major or G sharp diminished for even more tension, making it more tense, right? Creating it and making it a dominant. So let's go ahead and do that as well. I want to show you a chord voicing you can use for G sharp diminished. So I want you guys to do this with me now. Put your pinky on the 4th fret of the E string. 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. You're going to play D open. 1st finger then will go on the G string on the 1st fret. And that's it, just these 4. You could also play open B if you wanted to. And that would also be in the chord. So this is G sharp diminished. This is one way you can play a G sharp diminished chord. Okay, don't play the high E. It works, but actually it turns it into an E chord. Anyway, don't get too confused about it. Let's just play these 4 or 5. Okay? So this is what I want you to play for G sharp diminished. So we're actually going to be playing 2 types of 7s, and only the E major for 5. Alright, so I hope that's all clear. Now let's go ahead and experiment with these progressions. So go ahead and look at the diagram on the screen, and let's play through some of these things, okay? So let's play just as we have it, okay? First it says 7. This is without the circle, so we're going to play G major. G major, then it's taking us to 3, which is C major. And notice how clear and nice these sound, right? These are tonic chords, right? There's not much tension. Then it takes us to 6, which is F major. Nice and strong still. Now let's play the ones on the top only. So then it takes us to 4, which is D minor. Oh, now you can hear there's a little more tension in there. Then it says 7. This one has a circle, so it's diminished. G sharp diminished. And then 1. It goes back to 1, which is A minor. Right? And of course it says 1 start. We could start there and play through that as well. So let's go ahead and do that again. We just played through all the ones. Let's do that same thing, starting with A minor this time. And we're going to use the chords on the bottom. So 2 diminished, so B diminished, and 5, E major. Okay? Here we go. Let's start with 1, A minor. Now to G. To the 3, which is C major. Now to that 2, oh no, to this. Now to the 6, F. Now to 2, B diminished. And 1, major. Yeah. And 1, A minor. So I'm playing through this slowly for you, and if we put it in context, it could sound different. Now remember, this is the same idea with the major. Really what we're doing is we want to play tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic, right? So we have stability, tension, even more tension, and release. And just like with the major, look, you could take these chords and you could change them up however you want. Now you could just play, one of the tonics, one subdominant, one dominant. There's many options. You don't have to play it exactly in that order, and that's up to you. So we're just taking subdominant, dominant, tonic. Let's hear it again with just like a 2-5-1. So subdominant, dominant, tonic. I'm going to play B diminished. We'll do the bottom row. B diminished, E major, A minor. And you hear how now once it gets to A, it's stable. It's tension and release, right? So check this out. We'll do it again. Hear that? How nice that is? Tension, more tension, and release. So, guys, same idea as the major key. Your homework would be to look at this diagram and mix up the chords, playing tonic, subdominant, dominant, and tonic. Mix them up in different ways with all the possibilities, and of course, let your ear be the best judge. Write down the ones that you like the most. What are the chord progressions that you enjoy the most? So I would say experiment, come up with at least 5 different progressions for major and minor, and then circle your top 3 favorites. See which ones you like the best. And just remember, in music, we're creating tension and release. It's all about tension and release, all right? So that's it, guys. Thanks so much. Take these sheets, experiment with them, and let us know your feedback. Let us know what's happening. What are you learning? Which ones do you like the best? Let us know. If you want to take it a step further and go ahead and do private lessons with us, we can help you out. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. Get your tension and release on. Have fun with tonic, subdominant, and dominant. And we'll be seeing you in the following lessons.